I just want to give a quick story of how this has worked out. I'm not going to name the country or the people group. This is an area of the world where this particular people group was considered an unengaged, unreached people group. That means there's no one in the world focused on this group. So we were friends and partners, ministry partners with a person from this nation, and we gave him this list of unengaged, unreached people groups from his nation. And we said, do you have access to any of these groups? Well, there was one particular group that he had access to, and he said, yeah, I think we could get to them. They're a few hours from where our brothers and sisters live. And he said, yeah, I think we can do that. Let me go back and find out, if anyone wants to step up and figure out a way to get to this group. He said, but this group is challenging because they're very strong Muslims and they're known to not want outsiders to come in. So he goes to the brothers and sisters, and they decide, yeah, we'll send some people in. So he contacts us again, and he's our ministry partner, and he said, yeah, we're willing to find some brave, men who say they'll go in. And we pushed back a little bit, and we said, do you think it needs to be just men? Because in Genesis 1 and 2, the way God first established it was that man and woman would do things together. And he said, oh, we don't do things like that in our country. And we said, well, why not? And we kind of knew why not, but we said, why not? And he said, well, because women are our honor, and so we protect them. And so therefore that we wouldn't send them into this area because they are our honor. And we said, well, what would happen, do you think, if you were to just say, we're going to obediently use the Genesis 1 and 2 model, since Jesus has redeemed us and we go back to that original model? And he said, I'll go back to this group of people. So he goes back to the brothers and sisters and they pray. And sure enough, there's some strong men and strong women that say, we will do it. And so there were 2 married couples and there were 2 singles that said, we're going to go in. And I know the story that they weren't like the heroic, people that were willing to give their lives for Jesus on the spot. They were like us. They were ordinary people, a bit nervous to go into this group, but they said, we're going to do it. So they pray, they fast, they go into this group, and the leaders of the village walk out and they are all armed with guns. And they look at this entourage of 6 people, and they look at them and they introduce themselves and they say, well, you can come in. And so the believers are very nervous, and the women are immediately taken to a woman's area. The men are taken to another area. They both eat. The women eat with the women, the men eat with the men. They're both learning about this unengaged, unreached people group, a group the church has never cared about. They found out their needs. They found out their hopes and their dreams for their children. So as the day continued on, they found out ways that maybe this group of believers could help and just kind of enter in. But at the very end of the visit, some of the village leaders, they said, we want you to come back, but first we want to ask you, do you know why we did not hurt you when you came in? And the Christian said, yeah, we would like to know why you did not hurt us. And he said, if you would have come in with just the men, we would have thought you had come to hurt our honor. And we would have retaliated before you could even hurt our honor, and we would have either killed you or we would have hurt you. But when we saw you came in with women, we realized you were trusting us with your honor, so we chose to trust you with ours, and we allowed you in. And so through that story, now there's the first believer in this unengaged, unreached people group. We just started a school in this area where girls for the first time in their lives have been allowed to go into school. There's still lots and lots of work to do, but I think the story demonstrates that when we do things theologically the way that reflects God, and when we are willing to take the risk to obey scriptures the way God has allowed them to be placed down in the Word, God's Spirit will always rest on those things. And it opened up a people group to the gospel, but not only that, it saved the brothers. So the women literally, God used the women to save and protect the brothers that said they would also go in. So I think it just shows that strong theology is important. Risk and courage is important to get the gospel to the last remaining unreached people groups, and the shared dominion and partnership is an idea of God that He wants to bless, and He wants to bless it much more abundantly throughout the earth.